Okay, I know this looks a little bit awkward, but I felt like doing a book tag today, and I came across the bedtime book tag, so that explains why I'm in my pajamas. And well, these aren't pajamas. This is just a regular shirt. But I have a pair of slippers and my blanket here, and decided to, um, you know, act as if I'm gonna be in bed when I do this. I also have my books here that I'm gonna feature. And minus one because there's one that I lent to someone, and so I just decided to use a picture of it. So I'll get to that, but let's get started with the questions. Okay, the first question. There's 10 questions. Is what book will you stay up all night reading? And I chose Later at the Bar by Rebecca Berry. I'm sorry it's a little bit dark because of the window. It's here. It's basically like a collection of short stories, and it's it's kind of thin too. It's pretty thin. It's something I can stay up all night reading. I have read this in bed. I'll admit, but not not like overnight. I like go to bed at 11, so um, and I haven't really stayed up all night with a book, but I kind of want to, and that's what I could do with this one. Okay, this is the one I don't have. It's What Book Are You Scared to Go to Sleep? And it's called Haunted Texas, and I featured this in one of my Halloween book tags. It's it's a scary book. I'll admit it's a collection of short stories, and they're true stories, they're true horror stories about Texas, and I honestly I read one of those at night, and I don't think I had any nightmares or anything like that, but I read one of the stories at night, and yeah, it's really chilling and creepy, and it's not a book you want to read at night. It did make give me that feeling of okay, I don't think I want to go to bed tonight, because it was really some of them were chilling, and um, they're good stories too, but just scary. Okay, if you noticed I moved, it was because of the lighting. If it was just too dark where it was, so I just moved over a little bit. So this should be better. All right, the third question is oh, I'm sorry. It's what book almost put you to sleep? And is I chose The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer. I often jump the gun sometimes, so sorry about that. And this it's very thick. I have a thickness factor when choosing books, and I I know I chose this one, and I knew it was going to be kind of tedious to read, um, because it was so long, and the story it kind of started getting better near the end though, but pretty much the story was okay, where is this going, what's happening exactly, and I don't know what to have thought when reading it, and um, I don't want to say it's confusing, but you know it wasn't confusing, it was just really long, and there were so many major characters that I had trouble figuring out who was related to whom, and what they were, what their situation was. Okay, the fourth question is what book has you tossing and turning with anticipation? And I'm gonna say I'm having so much fun here without you, because I got this one not too long ago, earlier last fall or late summer, and this is in one of my to read lists. I say this one because I really want to read this one, and I'm it. I mean, Tenny, I own it, and so it's not really, it's not like a release I'm waiting for, but just that it's up next in one of my to read lists. So after I finish a book, then I'll get to this one, and once I do, I'll let you know what it was like. Okay, the fifth question is what book has your dream boyfriend or girlfriend in it? And I chose girlfriend. And I chose Guitar Notes by Mary Amato. And the girl Lila was she was one of my favorite female protagonists because she's musically talented and I'm sort of musically talented. I have piano training, um, but she was like a prodigy, and I really wasn't a prodigy, but I I felt that music, although I have piano training, she had cello and guitar um, skills, and I even though those are different, I still felt like I connected her through music, and I just I just thought because of her musical talent that I can relate to having a musical talent. That's how I kind of related. Well, not related to her, but felt um, felt why I like her so much and connected with her. Okay, so question six is what book world would be your worst nightmare? I sort of chose a book world that's not. It's probably it's not really a book world. It was just a setting. So I'll get to the book. It's the bookstore from Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore, and I say that because it's one of the main settings of the book. So I kind of went from there, and I say I don't want to say it gives me nightmares, but it's it's a bit of an eerie bookstore because it's self-explanatory. It's open 24 hours, but the way it was set up, it was like very eerie and really weird. And I honestly, some parts about this I wasn't I wasn't that into so much, but regardless of that, it was just like a weird bookstore in a weird setting, and I want to say it gives me nightmares, but I don't think it's a place I want to see. And I love bookstores, I do. Don't get me wrong about that, but that one specific bookstore, I don't think I want to see it. So I'll try to see if I can get away with that question for this book. Okay, the seventh question is what book cover reminds you of nighttime? And I've featured this before, so in I also want to say it's on one of my to read lists, and you know how much I'm anticipating reading it. It's One Evening in Paris, and again, it's self-explanatory because you can see it's sunset, it's nighttime, and it says evening in the title, and so I felt this one was closer, and also because it has evening in the title, then that makes it self-explanatory. So that's why I chose this one. Okay, the ninth question is what book has a nightmarish cliffhanger? And I chose Succubus in the City by Nina Harper. And because I don't want to say it's nightmarish, but it was a cliffhanger that sort of left me hanging. Because this is part of this, I don't think it's part of a series, but mainly well, I think there's two books just for this character for this succubus, and I um, there's another book, and here's the truth. I read this in 2008, and it's if I remember, yeah, it did leave me hanging, and I I didn't find the other book yet. I didn't know. I didn't look for it or anything, and I didn't actually see the book. I have to look into it, but it's the sequel to this, and yeah, it left me hanging, and I was like, oh well, what happens now? And I just I'm gonna say this because the cliffhanger at the end was um yeah, it left me hanging, and I think I'm gonna sometime this year look for the sequel to this book because I know I've meant to when I read it. I just haven't got around to it, and I've been procrastinating this whole time. So yeah, this I'm gonna say Succubus in the City for that. All right, the ninth question is what book world have you dreamt about? I chose a book world. I chose a setting from a book I already have, and it's it's not a book you would think I would have used for this or anyone would have used, but I chose Pride and Prejudice because once I did have a dream. This wasn't last night. This was a while ago, a long time ago. That I did have a dream where I was in 19th century England, and it must have been when I was reading Persuasion, and I could have said that one. I don't know why I didn't choose that. I mean, I chose this because this is again on a to read list of mine. I haven't read this one yet. I but I still decided to go with it. And I actually did. It looked a la Pride and Prejudice, or of that whole Jane Austen era, and it was just 19th century England. So because of that, I decided to use it. So on to the next book. Okay, the last question is, as you can see, I got it cuddled up here, just because I want to get a little cozy. The last question is, what monster would you not want to find under your bed? And I chose Dracula. Um, Now, I realized last Halloween that I love vampires, and I am sort of into vampires now, and I I don't know, I like vampires and things like that, but I don't think I'd actually want to meet a vampire. Um, and yeah, if I found Dracula under my bed, I would freak out. Um, because yeah, it's I mean, I love them. I just don't think I'm gonna actually meet them. And so, regardless of that, I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to see Dracula under my bed. I mean, who would? You know? And yeah. So I'll just. I thought, well, classic monster, and yeah. What would you do if you found Dracula under your bed? You know? I think I'll make that a general interest question or a poll question. So if you want to answer that, answer it right down there in the comments, and or whatever. It's no big deal. But yeah, I chose Dracula. Okay, so that was the bedtime book tag. I left the questions down there in the comments. Oh, I don't think I said this, but it was created by Kelly Sills something. I know it was Kelly Sills Books. I don't know. I'm writing it right down here, and I am also adding the link to the original video in the description. So if you want to see that, and just because she was the creator of it, so I want to acknowledge her, and so yeah, it was the bedtime book tag, and I know it was a little bit weird. You know, you never saw me. I know you've seen me in my bedroom before, but you never saw me in my pajama bottoms or wrapped up in a blanket or anything like that. But I wanted to get into the setting of the book tag, so that's why. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.